Now I'm going to use a similar approach to the windows in the main build there, but these are going to have a bit more blue in them, a bit more reflection too. That's more of a door there, I think. So that's a sign. What have we got there? Is that another window? Yeah, that's another window there. Another window there. I think that's another long door there. Oh, there's a door there. Another window there. Oh, there's windows in that boat there. Yep. Now I'm just going to go a little darker with the window here, because I just feel that requires it, and a little bit more reflection there. I shall line those shortly, so that sort of yeah. Now we've got masts and the big posts and all that to go in. Now this is where I deploy my rigger, number 5 Pro Art, and let's get those main pillars in first, those supporting posts. Ultramarine into that sort of grey mix, because it's just a dark colour really. It's actually almost black, but I don't want to get too it doesn't want to be too black, because I wouldn't use Payne's grey. That you need to mix a dark colour for this. And right, so we've got the main corner pillar coming down there like that. Another one there. These are just the main ones to start with, and they get closer and slightly smaller as they go away into the distance, because for obvious reasons they going to stand upright too, ideally. That's it, there you go, that's helped. Yeah, let's just put a bit darker on the back of that edge, a bit darker on there, just thicken those up just a touch. But as we go away, just let them sink away in their own little world. And then of course we have another one there that is the end pillar. Then we have one in between those, one there, one there, one there, one there, and those get more narrow as we go. Well, and then we get, obviously so that people don't fall off the top, you have some railings that we can show just like that really, and the figures sit back very nicely against those railings. There we go. I think that's fine. I think that'll work. I think that's quite sufficient. Now we also, I'm losing a lot of that colour now and picking up more of the brown, because we do have some this will help with the perspective of this. We've got to get this right. Some sections here, and that helps, as I say, with the perspective. And they get more narrow as they go away into the distance, like that. And then of course we have them coming this way as well, I'm sure. Yes, we do. Don't make them too specific, you know. Quite dark one there, quite dark there for the top. That's it. Good. And while we have this dark colour, let's also go in with directly under the centre of the parasol there and there. So that's those. Good, good, good. Okay. Right. Now, while we have this colour, let's use that for this distant post, and there's a mast there, yeah. Although it's white, well, it's white until it gets to there. So let's just put it all in dark for now. And of course we've got in actual fact the pencil line may be sufficient for that distance. Let's leave it at that. Now I'm going into the darker grey again, not too much on the brush, I don't want this to blob. I'm going to paint this this winch, and that has to be treated very simply. And it's got a crisscross structure for the support, like that. And then we have a line coming back there. I don't want to show these too thick. It's got a winch bit there. And then we have two lines there, there, and there, and that goes on to it's a hook or whatever. Anyway, yep, and that then is supporting a boat, I believe. So there again, all to do with shadows, really. We do have a gantry that these posts here that I'm going to put in are to a it's like a portal, and it rises up and down with the tide. So the gantry that you actually go onto that area is supported by this rail that you can walk on. Not explaining this very well, but I think you get the idea. And there again, when you paint these things, don't be too specific with them. Really need to be suggestive. Right, now let's get in the these lovely, these are quite wide posts, these are, and they're black, go into the water. They do have white tips, but I've overpainted those, so where's the other one? Oh, we've got one out here somewhere. There you go. Let's take that up to that height. And oh, there's another one here as well. There you go. If you really wanted to, and I suppose I could do later, let's use some white paint to put on the top there. You know, I'm not I wouldn't advocate using white to get your whites, but when these must, it could be a good option, really. There's a sign here, so I'm just going to line the edge of that. It's got some blue writing, so I picked up cobalt blue, and you won't be able to make out the writing, so I'm not going to attempt to. Just a suggestion of it. Good, good, good. I think overall things are not too bad. Just having a mop up here on the out of it's getting a little bit messy where I'm dabbing the brush onto kitchen paper. Now I'm going to put these masks in, so I'm going to use that very dark grey again. Some of them are white, but having said that, just trying to work out where they're connected to. Oh, that one goes right down to there, This one is considerably at the back, like that, and that one goes down into another little boat there. Then I'm adding brown to this, because there are some brown moss. There's one there. And we might as well put in another couple. There you go. Bit of concentration there, have you noticed? I was got to just concentrate. Let's just put one in there as well in that boat. Good. I think that probably does it okay. Well, really, we're looking at shadows now before I finish wash the water. Now the shadow mix, well, let's go into this and just, it's brown there, that part of the palette, but I'm going to use cobalt blue, so nice bit of cobalt blue, and I've got brown in there, so that's knocked that back a little, and a little of the alizarin crimson. I've used it in the sky, so there's no reason why I can't use it in the shadows. And the more paint you use, the stronger the mix. A little bit of Payne's grey gone in, but it won't affect that. There we are. A bit more blue. There we are. And doesn't want to, it looks very, very dark, but I think it's because I've got a puddle of paint there. Well, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to do this area that's in complete shadow first, just to see if I can. I'll just need a little bit more blue in that. Just found out that's better. There we are. Lift that away just a touch. There we go. And that finishes right on top of the wall there. Then we've got a shadow under there, the overhang. That's good. Then I'm adding water because this is not in shadow, but it's not in complete sunlight because it's at a slightly different angle. See that? So that's given me my two angles on that edge there. Now I'm going back in with the darker colour again to create the overhang shadow there. Shadows always are an important feature of my work, and they should be of anybody's work really, because they do make a picture work, I think. There we are. And then we have a shadow on those windows and that door there. Shadow on those windows. There, that's another window there, another window there. Let's just finish that on top there, correct, there we are. Just those, there's a door there I do believe, but anyway, there's a window there, another little window there, another little window there, another little window there. Perfect. I think that, just tidy that up. Yep, I think that probably does it. Just a little tidying up there. Yep. Nice deep shadow in that. That seems to work. And then that's in shadow, like that. And that comes down like that. That's in shadow there. And we have a shadow on the front of that. That's it. Good. That seems to be drying up lighter, which is about right. Now we're going to put in some shadow work on the boats. A bit more blue in the mix, but a same mix. Like that. Oh, there's a cabin there. Not too much on that. We've got some, I've got some other lining to do. We've got a cabin there, another one there, another one there that runs at the back of that. That's not much shadow on that. Maybe a little up the top there, a bit on the back of the cabin and across there. Maybe a little just there as the bow tucks under. Let's just put all that in shadow. There we go. Standing at a different angle. This is white, but obviously you've got a certain amount of shadow underneath there. Yep. Bit of shadow there. Bit there. Mostly that just needs lining. I've got to do some lining with that. Right, while I have this shadow, I'm going to put this same shadow in to this area here. The figures like that. That shows that that figure is in light, and the dog, well, we'll attend to the dog later. We have quite a shadow there from the wall, like that. Then it comes towards us, but it doesn't, you can't actually see it all once it gets there. I think that's the way I remember it. There you go. So that shows that lovely curve. In actual fact, I would then hasten to add that there's another. I'd like to darken this too. Not sure how much of that will be in picture, but I think that does need darkening up. And then, of course, we're going to have to mix some more of this. Cobalt blue, raw sienna, and to ring the changes, sorry, cobalt blue and alizarin. To ring the change, I made a little bit of yellow with that, a little bit of raw sienna. So that's the mix that I've got there. Same sort of mix really. And we do have a bit of an overhang shadow. How does that work? Oh, something like that, I think. There we are. So that's quite nice. We have a shadow from under the boat there, and also that is in shadow right to the point of that. And then this is in shadow, the bow of that, then it tucks under like that, and then of course that has shadow underneath. Then we have shadow the back of that comes in like that at that angle, and then under the rim there, and that's the same shadow that comes in there and then under the rim there. There you go. And all of a sudden those boats sort of stand. They just soften. Nice to have in this foreground a little bit of softening of the edge there. So I've just damped the brush, and it's just allowing that to bleed in. I think it's best to soften that. It just gives a rounded feel really to the whole thing. That's it. And then you just allow that to dry. Just putting another double shadow at the front there, just to enhance the bow of the boat, and just where it meets the line there. That's good. Now I'm going to just get the rigger out for the very finishing touches. Now this boat had an awful lot of wood, and the wood was there, so it's obviously a lot of upkeep in this boat. And this cabin here was all wood too, so that's all wood. There you go. And this, but it had a couple of portholes there, I think, so we'll leave those to show. Yeah, so that's the cruiser cabin. Yeah, let's just fill that in just a little bit more. Leave the light side on the left and at the bottom. That's it. And then we have that like that. And then there was the railings at the top. I think there may have been, normally are something going on at the tops of these boats. Quite often you can see a life belt or something to that effect. And then a very dark colour. These are all dark colours off of a palette really, for the line there, just where on the water line, like that. And then, although these are white, I'm actually going to put them in a dark colour. There. Does this have any? Most of them do. Yes, this one does, but they've got to be very small. Don't want to overdo that. Just hint at them, and hinting at the here. There is one there. They all have them up front, so railings, just to stop people falling overboard for obvious reasons. Like that, like that. Oh, and the front of that has a little bit of railing to it. Oh, and that had a bit of that. Yes, that all adds interest without actually, it's all suggesting. And then while I've got this cool blue grey, we have, I'm going to put that in now, the actual portal that floats in the water. But the perspective of this is vital, and that is like that, goes up like that, and it virtually follows these posts really up to there, and then there would be another little bit coming out there, but I don't know whether we're going to see that. Perhaps a little bit there. There we go. Don't show that too much, but that's pretty much what I would say would be the answer. And then right on this back edge, I'm going to go very dark because it's against the light. There we are. Oh, a bit of shadow work again on this little chappy there, and just a touch on this one in the distance. See, just a suggestion. Well, if you would like to make a small contribution to the running of my channel, then all you need to do at the bottom of your screen, click on the thanks. You then slide the slider along to the amount, as little or as much as you wish, and click buy and send. You then fill in your details and you're done. I thank you very much in advance. Just need to put in, because there's a corner there, I need to put in this shadow. Keep moving that board, there we go. And that runs across there like that, down there like that. And that then goes at that angle. Nice and straight, that's it. And that is the shadow side to that. Then, of course, we have shadows down the left-hand side of those large posts. And they go right into the water. And that will be shown shortly when I bit solid those. That will be shown very shortly. And of course, we do have, which is always useful, a little bit of darkening of the top and the bottom. That's better. That just gives it a bit more of a glow. See the way I've dragged that paint across? I've got more to do at the base to level that up, but basically that's pretty much as is there. Oh, we've got a boat there that's up on in the cabin, and that's a cabin and all. So there's boats and bits and pieces going on there. Go. Good. Now mixed up into that a little Windsor blue and a little raw sienna, and I've added plenty of water because to start with I want the water to have another wash on there. Check I've got the board right. Yeah, whoops. And that is the reflection of that boat. This is the reflection of that, and just a touch in the mast, not too much of that. There we go. Now what I'm going to do a reflection of that like that. Then that would then be reflected, but what I want to do is to just bring in this colour as a wash of colour to start with. This is why I said it needs to be very light, so just very weak, just to try and get that liquid sort of feel. And that would go behind there as well, and that's back there, not too much in the distance. We're just given a feeling of, we're looking to create that liquid feel. There we go. Now what I'm going to do, we'll put the reflections in shortly. I'm going to be darker then there around that boat, because I want that to show up as a reflection. So I've left that. You'll see what I mean in a second. And also this is reflected too. There. Like that. And then we go under that boat there. And then we sweep away like that. See the way I'm trying to create a liquid sort of feel to this water. And if you can just hit that right, nice to have a bit of light right up against the distance. Got to remember that with all this cloud in the sky, I'm remixing again, all this cloud in the sky, put that one in, there we go. You've got to remember that you can end up with quite a dark water in the foreground. That's it, there we are. Perfect. Look at that. Just want that to blend with that. That's it, better. That's good. That's all working out pretty much as a water sort of feel. And then it goes into the light area in the distance, and that's what I'm looking for. So it goes into the very light, so it's quite dark around there. We do have more shadows to go in, but let's just put in something nice and deep here. And it's the same mix of those colours, but obviously using more paint to get it darker. I don't want too many gaps actually. I've just realised. There we go. That's good. Yeah. More blue, more yellow, Windsor blue, Prussian blue, raw sienna, and quite dark right in this foreground too, because that's the way you get the film of light on them boats in particular. And then as you run out of paint, you pull that in to the beach like that. Yep, that's pretty much as I would have expected, really. You just level that off, a little bit dark around there. Perfect. Nice sort of ripply feel, lovely bit of warmth. Then I'm going to create, it's a lovely film of sunlight there, but I've got to justify this dark water. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add cobalt blue to that green mix there, and the alizarin with a touch of the raw sienna. And that, I think, will give me, let's just go a little bit more cobalt. There we are. That's it. That's it. That's the colour we're looking for. A lovely sort of, not too dark, plenty of water in there. Take a little bit of moisture off the brush. And I'm looking to pick up the feeling of a shadow in this foreground, running across the water too, like that, and then it's running up the beach like that. So really you're highlighting one boat and low lighting the other, really, which is always something that I like to do. And then we're going across the top like that, so that's all in shadow as well. My favourite thing to do this, as those of you that follow me do know. That's going to be dark anyway. There we are. Just pull that down there, down there. Really brings out that foreground, lovely deep dark colour. And I'm going to use this as a secondary shadow on the beach area there. Yep, and I'm going to use this again just there, just to darken that. Just feel that needs darkening. Just got to put the dog in, of course. Left that till later. Good. Now all those boats look white, which they are, but I'm going to give some of them just a little bit of hint at raw sienna, because whites, as you know, as you probably know from my past paintings, that I do give pure whites a little bit of yellow here and there, because I think it enhances the white. Doesn't need to have it everywhere, but here and there, particularly under there, not right at the bow there. Just soften that a little. Here we are. Okay, well, I'm sure you can see that these shadows, particularly in the water and in this left-hand corner, actually pulls your eye into the picture. It really is important to get these shadows in, and now all I've got to do is, well, the final finishing touches, and all I'm using for that is the rigger with a dark paint like that. It's more or less a dark brown sort of paint really, to start with anyway. Let's add a bit more blue to that, a bit more cobalt. There we are, just make it a little bit blue, because first thing I want to do is to give this roof line just there must be a gutter of some sort there, so I'm tidying up that there and just there. Just put that in a little deeper. There we are. Then the windows like that and like that. And is this a door? It's a door. So that's the frame, and that's the window. There. These are windows. And I'm just running across the tops really. Go up a little higher with those. Just to give them a little bit of depth. That's it. And less as you go away. So I've tidied those up. What do we have there? Oh, we have a board of some sort, a bit of writing on or what have you there. So that's okay. We'll have just a little bit of interest there, there, there and there. That's good. Just going to put a bit of shadow, so let's just add a little bit of shadow colour, because I'm sure that something here would have shadow. I know there's shadow there, more or less the end of that building, there, like that. But don't come over the figures. There we go. That's good, that's brilliant. Perfect. That's knocked that back, shows up those parasols. And another thing I'm going to do is just line up the undersides of that parasol here and there, there, there like that. A bit at the top there, where that's got like a sort of capping. So that all helps. And I'm just going to put a bit of lining just there where the tops of that finishes, like that. There we go. Don't want to take away too many of those nice rich areas of light colour, because if you do, you lose them for forever really. 1 or 2 little touches there. That's it. And then this gantry bit there comes in there, that's a bit wider. That's it. I'm just tidying up really. Then at the water's edge, you normally find it's a little darker, like that. So just tidying up that. Not a straight line, but just an indication. Now I'm running down the back of the hull there. Oh, there's a line there. Goes up like that. The bow. Runs right the way across, I believe. Does that? Yes, it does. And then it runs down there like that. That's correct. Go. That's not part of that. That's that. Oh, and the fenders have a shadow, so I'm going to use that colour, the back of the fenders. And then, of course, we need to tidy that up. we need to tidy the bow up, and then we need to tidy where it sits on the water's edge, like that. Oops, not too much there. Don't overdo it. Right, now what about the reflection? Now the reflection in the water, now that's dry, we need a reflection from that area there. And what I'm going to do with that, I'm going to use cobalt blue and burnt umber. Right, actually I'm going to use Windsor blue and burnt umber. There we go. So it's a greeny brown, because greeny brown indicates water to me. And where do we put it? Well, just check you can see this. Yep, we put it here like that. Right. And always when you're putting your shadows in, always in water or reflections, always go across like that. Now it comes to that corner and it's jagged, right, so then you come back, okay, and here it's quite tall, and then as it comes away you get rippling. There we go. And then you get a little bit of fine rippling on the edges. And all of a sudden, just take it right up to that edge there, because that's where it finishes. If you don't, it doesn't look right. And then with this same mix, you put in the rippling reflection of those posts, like that. You put in the hull of that, like that. That is lighter, so that's okay. You put in the hull of that one in the reflection. Just got to be a little careful. Just blend that away with the finger. Whoops. Blend that right away. There you go. Oh, and underneath there is where that boat, I like to see where the boats sit in the water. That's what I like to see. Then of course we've got the rippling of that, and then that post there, like that. That one would not be seen there because of that, but it would be seen beyond that. And then that mast there would also be seen. That one would also be seen. That one too. So we've got lots of these masts just about seen, showing above that boat. And all of a sudden you get that lovely feeling of reflection. Another one there, another one there. Oh, there's another one there. Whoops, I've got to reflect that hull. Must remember to do that. Right, won't see that, won't see that. Oh, you will see this one there. Reflection of that. Yep, that's good. Now I just want to do one or two little tidying up of edges, and just put in a dark touch where that meets the water, because that does have that sort of dark feel, which is always useful to put in. And we'll put just a little bit of a darkening down that back edge, and we'll blend it there so we can see the gradual turn of that. That's it. Now we need to just lift a bit of that away before it dries. In other words, just soften it. That's it. Just lift that away a touch. Now we just need we've got plenty of interest there. Tidied up one or two edges, put in some reflection. Just another little reflection to go in for these posts, because I do feel that they should be reflected, and don't forget they stand perfectly upright underneath, and they have to go to the extremes of that. Shouldn't took that up so far, but there you go. Just an indication, as I always say, nothing too specific. Then we're going to put in a very dark colour now, just a mix of blue and a red, to show the where this water meets just with the rigger. That's all you need, just where the water meets the just to give it a watery sort of feel, really, just a rippling feel. And then with the rigger, just draw through, because I want to show a little bit of sort of, well, what do you call it, a little bit of foreground rippling in the water. Like that. And a little bit of brown now, because you get quite a lot of brown, the bottom edge of that seawall. There we go. Clean the brush. Burnt umber. This is what I like for these sort of beach areas, because it shows you a sense that you've got sort of like a dirty area where the water comes up. There we are. That's good. And then we go back to this real dark colour again, just along the bottom edge there. And we do have sort of some brick-like colours and tones, but which I will put in just the odd hint at them, just to suggest them, really. Nothing too much in the distance, but just a little hint here and there. And then, of course, not forgetting some posts there that need to be put in very loosely, like that, and just where they meet the edge there. So the way we've got that feeling that we've got some posts standing up within that dark shadow area, always helpful. And then we've got sort of like a bit of dark area there. We may have a dark tone right underneath there. You know, it's an old rough wall, you know, and it's nice to show that if we can. It's not always easy to depict that sort of thing. And then I'm going to use this and just flick down. It's an old stone sort of feel, so I'm just flicking down there like that. And I want to pick up the edge of that. I haven't really picked up the corner of that yet, but I will do, like that. That's it. A bit more moisture on the brush, and then we'll bring that down like that. There we are. So I think overall that's got to be pretty much there. And where would we be without those all-important gulls in the sky, particularly on a coastal subject like this? So where do we put them? Well, I'm going to start off with the big ones, and I'm going to put one there like that. All seem to have a kink to there. Go. I'm going to put a slightly smaller one here, but that is going to be a slightly different angle. Then I'm going to put a small one there, but that's floating around at another different angle. Okay. Then I'm going to put some small ones in. And they've got to be at all different angles, really. Do you need any here? Probably not, really. But I'm going to be a devil, because I want a row of them just beginning to head towards this area. Yeah, I'll be happy with that. That one I'm going to make a little bigger. Did need to be a little larger than that, I think. We go a bit more distinct, a bit more sort of distinct. Good. Let's put a mount over that. And I've put a mount around that so it's completely enclosed now. And I think it does help a painting if it is enclosed like that. But overall, I think you'll see that the composition is good, where the foreground, even the boats send the eye potentially out of picture. But I've knocked that back with a cloud shadow here, because we've got clouds in the sky. Then all of a sudden the brick wall pulls your eye towards the building. Then the building with the figures pull your eye to the ramp, where the gantry pulls your eye to the boats, and that does pull your eye to some extent out of picture, but because it's a strong colour, it holds your eye there. Then you then want to scan back in. So I think overall good composition. Yeah, fairly happy with that one. Just needs signing, and obviously signing will mean dark paint in the paint that I've already used. Let me get my paints. There we go. Just a dark colour of something you've got in the palette, really. A little blue and a little, I suppose a bit of bluey green wouldn't hurt, because that's what the because I'm going to sign it. The right hand, bottom right hand corner. It's going to go fairly well in picture, although I think that's pretty much the mount, with my name in the paint that I've used, using the rigger, and there you are. That denotes who painted it. Well, if you would like to make a small contribution to the running of my channel, then all you need to do, at the bottom of your screen, click on the thanks. You then slide the slider along to the amount, as little or as much as you wish, and click buy and send. You then fill in your details and you're done. I thank you very much in advance.